Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adoornments Decor, and today we're going to be painting this beautiful welcome with flowers design. This was one of the new ones that we released this past week. Every Friday we come out with 5 brand new designs for you, and this week we decided to go with a theme that sort of was like anything or something you could hang up any time of year. So the one in the top center was the best seller from those 5, and so that is why I'm painting that one live today. As you can see, it's got a beautiful buttermilk sort of background and some coral colored flowers and some bright green leaves. So we're going to be making that happen on this wood blank today. If for some reason you missed out on grabbing that new design in our shop, it's still available at shopdoorhangers.com. You can get it in 2 different ways. Number one, if you're a DIYer and can cut your own wood blanks, or you have a laser cutting machine, grab the template for just $7. If you prefer to just have us send you a piece of wood like this with the design already lasered on it, so all you have to do is sit down and paint. That's still considered DIY, by the way, but it's just a little bit more hands off on the power tools and just hands on the painting. And so we will send you a wood blank just like this with the design on it. This one is almost 20 inches. I cut it out just a little smaller because the piece of wood I was cutting on was smaller, but you can get the door hanger size at 20 inches. You can get more of like a office door or a wreath attachment size of 12 inches. You can always get it at 8 or 6 inches as well. And so this one's going to be so fun to paint. We're going to start off just by painting the background with a light buttermilk color. Hello, Heather. Hey, Marina. Y'all, thank y'all for coming in and telling me hello. Just a quick recap. This past weekend, I spent the entire weekend in the Norton's Children's Hospital in Louisville with my son, Brett. He had to have his 2nd brain surgery of the year so far. He has a VP shunt in his brain that helps allow the brain fluid to flow out of his brain because it can't do that normally. He has hydrocephalus. And so he had to go under the knife in January to have the part of the shunt fixed that was malfunctioning. And guess what? It started malfunctioning again this weekend. So thankfully I caught it really early and got him to the hospital, and he didn't have to suffer long with it. But he is already bouncing back and asking what we're going to do today and bouncing around the house. So he is doing fine. Don't worry about him. But I thank you all so much for your prayers and the doctors taking care of him this weekend. The people up at Norton's are amazing. If you ever have to take your child to a hospital and you're anywhere near Louisville, Kentucky, they treat the children like gold. They are amazing. We love them. Good morning, Wanda. Jerry says my daughter does too. She had 2 shunt replacements. Well, this was his 4th surgery. So his original placement was in July of 2018, and then it malfunctioned in July 2019. And then we haven't had a problem with it in 3.5 years until just this year. So hopefully it'll be another 3.5, maybe even 10 years before he has an issue again. I don't know. It's so unpredictable, for those of you who have kids or know kids that have shunts, it's very unpredictable. You don't know when you're going to have surgery again. Alicia says your hair looks so pretty today. Alicia, I have been going with naturally curly hair for like the last 3 weeks, and it was just starting to get on my nerves because, like I'm the kind of person who loves running my hands through my hair, and you can't do that with curly hair. And so I just wanted something that was no muss, no fuss, just straighten it. And so that's what I did today. And so it's fun to change it up. Sherry, he is 12 years old. He'll be 13 in September. It's hard to believe, but yeah, he's nearly a teenager. Good morning, Wanda. It's a beautiful day in Mississippi, Sherry says. It's beautiful here in Kentucky also. It's currently 60 degrees and sunny. How do you do the split screen on Facebook Live? Jennifer says, I'm using something called StreamYard. So look up StreamYard. And this side that you see me on here is my MacBook camera. And then this overhead angle is an iPhone pointed down. And I've invited myself in as a guest on StreamYard. So it's just me on both sides. But if I was interviewing a guest, I could bring them up side by side with me also, which is great. Alicia says, I'm a curly girl too. I get it. Yeah, every now and then we just have to change it up. Okay, I think I've caught up with y'all's questions. Debbie says, my son has the same thing. Has your son had to have a lot of revisions on his, Debbie? I'm just curious, like how many, how often this normally happens, because it feels like a lot for us. 4 brain surgeries in 5 years feels like a lot. Pam, I will tell him you were thinking about him. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're starting off with this light buttermilk color, and we're just going to coat the background of this. And we're just talk to me about billing. But don't worry about the background. I know it might make you a little nervous to paint over all that laser etching, but you're going to be able to see it through the paint. Also, something I like to do when I'm painting a background like this is thin out my paint just a little bit. It kind of helps it go on a little easier when you're coating the entire thing, and it takes a little less paint. Jerry says, my daughter's almost 14. I guess she's lucky. Oh, wow. It has grown a lot. I've been letting my hair grow out. I haven't been trimming it as often. I kind of was tired of the short and ready for some long, but I bet by summertime I'll be ready to chop it off again. Joanne says, would you ever use the car wash brush? Yes, I would definitely use a brush sponge on the background like this. And that's actually a technique we're going to be teaching in the Lola Cow workshop. So the door hanger you see hanging up behind me, we're doing that the week of March 13th in a private Facebook group. It's going to be our spring workshop. We do one of these every spring and every fall. It's your opportunity to kind of sit with me on Facebook Live and paint live with me. I slow down a lot. So if you think I'm a fast painter, I slow down in the workshop, and I try to go slow enough that you guys can keep up. I think this needs a little bit of white added into it because I think I had to actually mix to make this light buttermilk color because I didn't actually have light buttermilk, and it looks darker on bottom than it does on top. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I slow down a lot during the workshop so that you guys can keep up, and it's spread out over 3 nights. So instead of, painting a door hanger in one entire sitting, we do part of it on night 1, part of it on night 2, and then night 3. And there's actually a night in between. So it's a Monday and Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, you have a break. So you can kind of catch up if you need to. Or if you're bored, you can hop on Zoom and chat with some of our Painters Clubhouse sisters during the workshop. And then on Thursday night, we'll pick up again and we'll finish the project. And so if you've been wanting to learn how to paint and maybe you've just been a watcher all this time, this is your opportunity to be a doer. Pick up your brush and your paints and come sign up and paint with me. For just $10, we'll send you the paper. We'll send you the, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll send you the template online so you can print it out yourself and tape it together. It'll look like this. And we're going to teach you how to trace that onto the wood and how to paint it. And you can do the whole project just for $10. All you got to do is get a 18-inch wood round. You can pick one up from your local craft store, or you can cut out your own if you're feeling crafty. Or maybe you've got a husband who's good with a jigsaw or a scroll saw. I bet he could cut one out for you. If you want to go more the easy route, we do have a kit option available that's going to have the wood round in it. Now, it won't have laser etching on it like the one you just saw. And the reason is because I want you to learn how to use a template. That is a skill that will take you so far in your painting journey. You'll be able to paint anything you want once you learn how to use a template. And the only thing not included in those templates is the paints. So if you've got craft paint laying around, you can use what you've got. Or you can grab the supply list in that kit and run to the store and pick up the ones you don't have. Marina said, I noticed paints behind you on the wall. Do you not use the little stand to your left anymore? Oh, no, I totally do. I've got all of my easy to grab quick paints that I use the most right here. The ones that I don't use as often, I've got hanging up behind me because they're cute, and it's way cuter hanging up there than it is stacked on my shelf. But these have some like glitters and metallics that I don't use as often, or extras of the colors that I do use all the time. But these are paint storage cubes that we sell in our shop. And so if you need a paint storage solution, these are great. You can get them stained or you can get them natural. The one behind me is stained with like a golden oak stain, and they can hold up to 81 bottles of paint. And if you don't want to hang them on the wall like this, you can just sit them on a desk. They stand up perfectly on their own without being hung on a wall. What kind of paper did you print the template on? It's just regular 8.5 by 11 printer paper, and I taped it together. Nicole, it's called StreamYard. That's what I'm using to stream side by side. Brandy says, I can break away from 3 grandbabies. Are they driving you nuts, Brandy? Sherry said, yay, my paints came in yesterday. Did you order the rainbow paint pack from Decor? So that rainbow paint pack has 7 of the colors that you're going to need for the Lola Cow workshop. And so if you don't have those colors, that rainbow paint pack is a quick and easy way to grab all of the colors. The only colors that aren't in that pack that you're going to need are like a brown, a black, and a white. Okay, we've got the background mostly dry. There's a couple spots that are a little wet. But do you see how after it's drying, we can still see those laser etched lines through the paint? You ordered those? Okay, good. Alicia says, I'm going to buy Template Club. Be right back. Oh, no, you're going to go buy the template? Oh, the template for this design. Yes. New Template Club designs come out tomorrow, by the way. I've actually got a little sneak peek here I can show you. Let me pull it up. Well, I said I did. I don't think I have it readily available. Well, I'll show it to you later. Leanne says, I signed up for the Lola cow and I bought her friends. Oh, she's talking about the friends. So yeah, there's actually 8 additional cows in the herd that go along with Lola. And so after you sign up for the Lola workshop, you may see this pop up on the next page. And it will offer these templates to you for $27. Normally, if they were sold individually, they'd be $56. So this is a great deal for this bundle, and it's only going to be available during the workshop. So if you want to get these additional cows for all the seasons, be sure and grab those after you sign up for the Lola workshop. And you could paint one on the back side of Lola. Like you could make it a double-sided door hanger. Okay, good, Wanda. I'm glad you had some. Are the ones you show on Fridays part of the Template Club templates? Yes, yes. Cynthia said, I can't wait for tomorrow. Every month is like Christmas in the Template Club. I love that. Okay, let's start by just painting the basic backgrounds of our flowers. Now, I didn't exactly have the right color that was perfectly matched to this template, so I'm just going to use this one. It's close enough. I actually really like this color. It's called Melon, and it's kind of a pinky coral. So that's what I'm going to use. And let's see. I'm going to get a filbert tip brush. Filbert tip means the tip of it kind of mimics the end of your finger. It's kind of curved. It's not flat tip like a lot of the ones that I use. And then we're just going to paint each of these flowers with this melon color. Do any of you have questions about the workshop or painting in general or anything else? I'll be happy to answer some questions while we paint. Just got on. I was wondering if your shirts are for sale. Oh, you would like a Southern Adornment shirt? Well, I have never sold these in the shop, but I could add them. These were actually printed by a company that kind of like drop ships them. So I wouldn't actually be printing the shirt. But if I set it up where you could order it, you could just have it shipped to you. So we'll see about that. Look how pretty this color is. I love the softness of the colors on this door hanger. That but light buttermilk color in the background just kind of makes the whole thing real soft. You know, we could have painted the background with like a stark white, but that would have, it wouldn't be as soft and sort of feminine feeling as these colors feel. Do you see how this filbert tip brush just glides around the petal of the flower? And it makes just a real nice smooth edge. It also holds a lot of paint. So you can see that there's still quite a bit of paint in that brush, even after going around that flower. And so I can just keep on going. Wonder how many petals I could paint with just one dip of the brush. I have a habit of dipping my brush in the paint quite often just because I'm used to doing that, but let me get a little bit of water on my brush too. This paint was a little on the thick side, I think because I haven't used it in so long. It felt a little thicker. So dipping my brush in a little bit of water kind of helped thin it out a bit. If you're painting on one of these designs that has the laser etching lines, just paint to the outer edge of that line. So there's kind of like 2 lines on here. Just paint over that first line and go to the outer edge of the second line. Wendy says we need some door hangers that just say hello because not everyone is welcome. Wendy, or Aaliyah, don't we have one in the shop that says something about, does it say go away?
Yes, it does say go away.
So we've got some for people like you in our shop that say like go away or did you knock first or something like that. So, you know, maybe it says did you call first? Oh, Debbie says, I like the t-shirt color and the one you had on in the video yesterday. Yeah, that one is more like this color. It's coral, and it has my logo on the front of it. Yeah, after you, will you shut that door? I think they're fixing to come in and spray. We've got people coming to spray for bugs today. Good morning, Amber. I just shipped you a package yesterday. Are the brushes Decor? These are. Yeah, these blue handle brushes are from Decor. Okay, I got to look at my picture because I can't remember what other colors were what other flowers were this color. All right, so these little ones like this, whoops, wrong button, are also this coral color. They're just a little smaller. They're more like little buds. Let's see, here's one here. Aaliyah's going to grab some pictures for the blog. If you didn't know, we have a blog on our website that has lots of painting projects just like this, broken down step by step. It also has some tips for doing paint parties in your home, tips for storing your templates, tips for storing paint. One of our most recent blog posts was also about my craft desk that I'm sitting at right now and how we built it. We even have a blog post about how I made this pallet wood wall behind me. So all kinds of fun stuff that you guys ask me about all the time. We have turned those into blog posts, and they are available at southernadornmentsdecor.com. There's several hours worth of reading material in there. And there's also videos linked. So like if you find a project like this that you want to do, there's almost always a video linked to it where you can find the original tutorial. Okay, I was looking around to make sure I got all those flowers. I believe these little sprigs like this are a darker color. Yes, they're more like a tiger lily red or something. Dallas said Pam said, I didn't know you were in Dallas this past week. Yes, I was only there for 3 nights and we were busy the whole time we were there, but it would have been awesome to get to see you. Amber says, I see lots of painting in my future. Well, if you keep ordering blanks, we'll just keep sending you plenty of things to paint. Okay, I feel like the color that they had to go along with the coral was kind of this bright reddish color. I'm trying to decide if that's still what I want to go with. I feel like this is a little too orangey, and I'm really liking the way this looks with it. This is called Watermelon Slice. It's kind of a red with a hint of a pink in it, so I feel like it complements this melon color really well. And I'm running out of this color. I need to order some more of it. But we don't need much for what we're doing here. And I think I'm going to use a small flat tip brush for this. You could also use a round tip if you're uncomfortable with doing these little pointed areas here. But do you see how they're kind of like teardrop shapes?
Did you use buttermilk on it?
Yeah, so the background, I actually mixed a color to make light buttermilk because I was out of it. But if you have light buttermilk, that's very similar to the color that I used on the background. Okay, this brush is not working out. Don't be afraid to switch brushes mid-project. I'm going to a round tip brush because these little bitty teardrop shapes were too small for that round flat tip. Let's see, here's another one here. So just kind of start up in the point and then pull it down around to the bottom of the teardrop. And then just fill in the middle. What color was the base coat? Light buttermilk. Is this one in March's template club? No, Delaney, this one was in the February template club. So if you're not a template club member and you missed out on the February bundle, is today the last day to get it, Aaliyah, or does it sign up? No, it doesn't sign you up. I forgot. We changed the way it happens. So if you sign up today for Template Club, it's going to bill you tomorrow for the March bundle. But if you wanted the February bundle after you've signed up for Template Club, just email customer service and they can invoice you for it and you can still get it. Look how pretty this color looks with the coral. I really like it. Okay, and then down here, there's some. Do any of you guys keep snacks in your craft room? If your hands are shaking, maybe your blood sugar's a little low and you need snacks. I had a snack right before I went live on here, but I feel like my hands are still quivering just a little bit. I used to keep snacks in my craft room, and Charlie kept coming in here and eating them all. So I quit leaving snacks in here. Oh, thank you, Joanne. She's bragging on our customer service. They need all the positive comments they can get, because as you know, usually people only email customer service when there's a problem. So they hear a lot of negativity or a lot of like problems or things that are going wrong all day long. So any positive feedback you can give them is always appreciated. They are amazing. Yay, Alicia signed up for the workshop. Brett's doing really good, Linda. He's just chilling and relaxing in his room today, watching TV and having some downtime. But I think he's getting a little bored. It was funny yesterday before we checked out of the hospital. He was like pacing around the room, ready to go. Not that he doesn't enjoy being there, but I think he was a little tired of the same room and the same TV and just being tired of it all, bored. Your craft room is in your dining room, so I don't have to go far for a snack. I like that, Wanda. My craft room used to be my dining room as well. Eventually, my business grew to the point where we just couldn't manage that anymore, so I had to move into another room. Why, Vaughn? You cracked me up. Okay, let's start doing the greenery. And I have picked out another non-traditional color for the background here, or for the greenery. This is jewel green. It's a really soft sort of jewel tone green. Oh, look, I've already got white paint on my arm. And I thought it would complement these pinks and reds really well, or the coral and the red.
Oh, look at Miss Pam.
Pam said her support team are light years ahead of any other support team I've ever dealt with. Oh, Miss Pam, we're going to have to print that out and put it on the wall in our virtual office. That is awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'm trying to think what size brush I want to use for this. I kind of feel like old habits die hard. I want to go with a flat tip brush, but we'll see how this works out with these leaves. So this is a little bitty one. It's about 1/2 inch wide, and we're just going to paint in these leaves with the jewel green. Look how pretty this color is. I love it. I think I like the flat tip brush so much because it smooths out my brush strokes. I feel like I can smooth out my brush strokes so much easier with it. And it could just be habit that this is the one I always pick up, so it's the one I'm most comfortable with. You'll learn the more you paint which brush is your favorite. And you end up using it more often than any other. What colors would I use to make coral? Usually it's like pink with a touch of like orange. So like this is actually a pink, and this is more coral. Do you see how this one has just a hint of orange? And don't mix a lot of orange into it, just like a drop, and just see how it changes it. If it's not enough, you can always add another drop. And sometimes you might have to add a little bit of white too, depending on the color of pink that you start with. Amber says, I goofed on one of my orders and ended up just ordering one, so I had to go back and order. Oh, my. Amber, your hubby may give you the stink eye, but, if it makes you happy, painting is therapeutic. If you're a happier wife, he's going to be a happier husband. Who knows? You may start selling a few of these, and next thing you know, it's paying for your new hobby. Okay, I'm just turning this flat tip brush up on its end to kind of make that little stem that connects all of them. Aaliyah, do you want to get a picture of me painting these leaves? I kind of forgot that we've moved on to this next part.
Yes, boss.
sometimes we get to the end of one of these and we're like, oh, we forgot to take pictures today.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remind her because I know I easily forget. And then sometimes she goes home and then I'm like, oh, I forgot to get the pictures downloaded from you.
I rabbited there.
Or her internet isn't as good as my internet. And so sometimes she has trouble uploading them. We pay for the top dollar internet over here because, I mean, when you run an online business, you really have to. It's just a part of it. I'm just glad we're able to get the type of internet that we're able to get because my mother, on the other hand, lives closer to town, but she's stuck with AT&T internet and doesn't have any other option. And it's awful. It's so slow. She can't even stream anything. She has trouble even just watching Netflix. You love my pink glasses. These are pear eyewear, and these are little toppers. So I picked the toppers to kind of match with my shirt, and they're magnetic. So I've probably got 50 or more of these little toppers for like every occasion under the sun.
They're addictive.
And Leah's addicted to them too. She's got so many of them. And I know a lot of you guys have started buying them as well after seeing them on my videos. It's like, oh, I would love to have those. It's just something else you can accessorize with, fun earrings, fun glasses. It's another accessory. It makes it more fun getting ready for the day, picking out your glasses. Hey, Marie, how are you doing? Marie's one of our Painters Clubhouse sisters.
Want to do a happy mail?
Yeah, let's do a happy mail. Everybody, let's see. What should be my question? I always come up with a question when it's happy mail time. Marina says, I hope you get a discount on these for buying so many. Yeah, and because you guys ask about them all the time, Pear Eyewear has actually partnered with me. And they now provide some of them for me for free if I make a video showing them off. So that's even better. Okay, let me think. What's my question going to be?
What flowers are blooming?
What flowers have you seen blooming in your area? That's a good question. So drop a comment with your answer, and we'll pick somebody at random to win some happy mail. We'll mail you something in the mail. I've been seeing, closer to Nashville, I've been seeing Bradford pear trees blooming. And in my yard, we've had daffodils, or I call them March flowers. But I've also noticed a lot of my trees have started to put on buds, like they're about to produce leaves here soon. We've been having very warm weeks lately, which is not normal. Ooh, azaleas. I love azaleas. We don't have those yet. Yeah, we don't have those yet. Lilacs, tulip trees. Really? Your tulip trees are blooming already?
The tulip magnolias are, yes.
Oh, I hadn't even noticed those. Isn't that what they have on campus up at Murray State?
Mm-hmm.
I used to see those when I would walk out of class back in my college days, and I'm like, these are so pretty. Daffodils, jonquils. I'm not sure what a jonquil looks like. I've heard of them. What is? Am I saying it wrong? Why are you laughing at me?
No, you're fine. You've seen them. The daffodils that have there's multiple flowers and they're white with a little orange center.
Maybe that's what I have planted out there that I always called just a daffodil or a March flower.
They're all daffodils.
Oh, it's a type of daffodil. Yeah. So a jonquil is a daffodil?
Yes.
I'm learning today. I did not even know. I know very little about plants and stuff, which is probably why most of the ones that I have die. I pretty much only know the names of the ones that I have in my yard. Even then, it's not all of them. Okay, happy mail winner is Bethany Pitchford. Congratulations, Bethany. Pansies, yes. I'm trying to think of what the flowers were called that I did have in my landscaping right around my, we have a flagpole out in our front yard. I forget what they were called. They were so pretty. But they didn't come back. They were supposed to come back and they didn't. So I must have done something wrong. They remind me of pansies, but it's not what they were called. I'll tell you what, I needed this today after the being in the hospital with Brett the past few days and traveling and everything. I just needed a day where I could, what did I just do to my hair? I needed a day where I could just sit down and do some painting. It's very relaxing. You don't know a lot about plants either. Marina says my nephew calls daffodils Jesus flowers. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, let me look at my photo real quick. So these little dots that are popping up around everything are actually the same color as the lettering. And then there's little white dots in the middle of these flowers. So what I'm thinking I might do is go ahead and paint the white dots in the middles first so they can be drying. And then we'll start working on our lettering. And I'm just using a filbert tip brush to do this because I just needed something that I could kind of, do you see how I'm just kind of dabbing to make that center circle? It's almost easier to do that than it is to try to paint something round when it's this small. So just kind of let the tip of the brush work for you. Just kind of dab, dab, dab until it fills the circle. About to make these flowers come to life. And again, I'm not having to figure out where to put these. These are laser etched on the wood. I can still see them through the pink. And so I'm just dabbing to put those little white dots in there. There we go. And now for the color that's going to be popping here in the middle with our lettering. It's one of the newer colors from Decor. It's called Sunset Gold. If you don't have this one, another alternative that's really close is Marigold. Let me kind of hold them up side by side so you can see. But do you see how this one right here is Marigold? This one's Sunset Gold. There's hardly any difference between them. I feel like Marigold is just a tad more muted and Sunset Gold's a little brighter. So either one will work. Okay, I'm going to grab that brush that I just used, that same little filbert tip brush, and we're going to do the little dots in yellow. Same thing. We're just going to dot, 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 dab those dots in there.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
She interrupts me every time I'm live. Siri on my Apple Watch.
She's not sure about you using that color.
She's not sure about it. Not sure why. She always thinks I'm talking to her in a live. One thing that's kind of cool about this door hanger is it really only uses like 6 colors total, which I use a lot of colors on a lot of door hangers a lot of times. And sometimes I'm like, man, I went with too many paint colors. This is going to be hard for somebody to replicate because they might not have all these colors. But this one only has 6 colors. Oh, there's some more over here. Oh, every time I think I'm done, I find another one. There's some more over here.
Oh, you missed some at the top.
Did I really?
There you go.
Oh, your video's delayed.
Yeah.
Becky says, I'm having trouble with my paints bleeding. How do you keep that from happening? It sounds like your paints might be a little on the thin side. Or is it that the color you're painting on, like the background is still wet and the colors are kind of like, I call it getting muddy, like they're muddying together. Is that the problem? Or is the paint running across? If it's running, the paint is too thin. And I'm sure there's a medium you can buy to mix with your paint to make it thicker. But by the time you do that, you should have probably just bought new paints. But these Decor Americana paints, you won't ever have trouble with them being too thin. If anything, you might have trouble with them being a little thick, which is easily fixed with a little bit of water. Amber said the way Sunday we had 8 tornadoes. Oh, my friend Sarah Williams, who lives up in Wichita Falls, she had a tornado come really close to her house. It's kind of scary weather yesterday or Sunday. Hey, Deborah, it is Tuesday. It doesn't feel like Tuesday to me. I'm so confused because I spent 2 days in the hospital this past week with my son. My son was the one in the hospital. And so, yeah, my days it does not feel like a Tuesday. All right, I've got to dry this or I will have wet paint all up my arm trying to paint the lettering. So we're going to dry this, at least this bottom part first. And I see a couple spots that I need to touch up. So I'm going to quickly do that. I missed a spot when painting these flowers. Oh, thank you, Deborah. I appreciate the compliment. I enjoy painting with you guys. It's one of my favorite things to do. What is the darker coral color? It's actually watermelon slice. It's more of a red than a coral, and it's got a little bit of pink in it. So it's a pinky red. Perfect color for a watermelon. Watermelon slice. Brett's doing good. He's feeling back to his old self. He's still got a little bit of a headache and stuff like that, but other than that, he's pretty normal. Couldn't find the replay last week. Is it on? Yeah, it's on YouTube. Every time I paint live, the video is also on YouTube, which reminds me, I forgot to go live on TikTok today. I'm not in my normal routine, so everything feels a little off. Okay. I'm using a filbert tip brush. This one is a smaller size. See how it's smaller than my finger? So that can kind of give you a little bit of a reference for the size. And we're going to use this sunset gold, and we're just going to paint in the word. I like using filbert tip brushes to paint in words like this because I feel like they hold, like I said, the filbert tips hold a lot of paint. And so I can kind of like go across a good portion of the word before I have to dip in the paint again. If you don't have any filbert tip brushes, we actually have some of these in our shop. It's not the blue handle ones, but there's a quite a variety of sizes. There's like 12 brushes of all different sizes that are filbert tip. So no matter what size you need, you should have it if you have that pack. We also have packs of flat tip, round tip, and angle, which I hardly ever use angle, but I know a lot of people really love angle tip brushes. So we provide those in the shop as well. It's just a personal preference. I just don't use them very often.
Alicia wants to know what number of filbert's your favorite.
Well, this one's called a number 8, but that really doesn't mean anything when you're just looking at brushes from different brands because there is no standard measurement for brushes. That's so frustrating. But if you go in a craft store and you buy like a certain brand, they will have their own numbering system for those brushes, and a completely different brand will have their own number system. There's no universal numbering system. So I'm actually trying to work on getting my own pack of brushes that I have hand selected and that I use solely so that it makes it easier for you guys when I pick out a brush. I can say, if you've got my brush pack, it's this one, you know. But as far as which one I'm using right now, it says Deco Art number 8. So it's just really hard to try to replicate and get the exact same one unless you've got the same brand. Would you guys be interested in a custom brush pack that's branded for Southern Adoornments Decor? If I had those and used them on every painting tutorial, would that make your life a little easier? You know, if you had the same pack of brushes. I'm not doing a very good job at staying inside the lines on these, but this is just going to go to show that it can still turn out and look great even if you get outside the lines.
Okay, they want to know when their Lola box is going to ship.
The kits for Lola should ship. I said by March 1st, but that's sneaking up on me. That's tomorrow. Probably no later than, what's today? Today's Tuesday. No later than Friday. If you've already ordered one, they should go out no later than Friday. We're going to start working on packing them this afternoon.
Lots of yeses on the brushes.
Awesome. Good to know. Well, we'll work on getting that accomplished. I love the lettering on this. I don't know if it's a font or if it's somebody's hand lettering. One of my team members designed it, and the lettering is so pretty. Sometimes something can be a font, and if you know what you're doing when you're designing, you can modify that font to kind of make it go in a wave sort of motion or something like that. And I think that may be what they did because it's so pretty.
Speckled Hen has a question.
What a fun name. Speckled Hen says, does the pencil show at all after it's painted? If you look really closely, you can still see the laser etched lines on these. But it's not distracting. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that you would notice right off. You'd really have to be like examining it to notice it. And if you do it a good enough, get it a blah, blah. Hold on, let me start over. If you give it a good enough background coat and get that color down in those laser etched lines, they're less noticeable as well, I feel like. All right, there we go. We're not done yet. Don't run away. We got to finish up the finishing touches with a round tip brush or a paint pen. Which, since I want to get the same colors that I've got here, I'm not going to use a paint pen because I want to kind of color match. So I'm going to take that watermelon slice color, and I'm just going to kind of make like a little sprig in the center of these flowers that kind of makes them look like they've got like, I don't know, just a little bit of detail. Devil's in the details, as they say. It always makes things look so much cuter when you've got little details. Going out. And so kind of just make these little sprigs going out from the center. Make them wispy. It's okay if they don't look just exactly alike. You can have them, but it's a flower. It's not supposed to be perfectly symmetrical. If you're struggling with this part, you might want to use a skinnier brush or thin your paint out just a little. I'm going to go with a skinnier brush on this next one. Also, wet your bristles. I put mine in my mouth. I probably shouldn't do that, but that actually looks better than those last ones I did. Some brushes do better than others. So if you're not sure if your brush is a good one to use, test it out on like a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper and make like these little brush strokes and see how they look before you use them on your door hanger. Okay, and then these little flowers here also kind of have that sort of thing, and it kind of goes up from the bottom. I feel like it almost gives it a little bit of a Japanese cherry blossom sort of feel. All right, I'm looking at my picture now. Now I need a darker color of green. So instead of getting another color in my palette with the green, I'm just going to take a teeny, like a drop of black. I mean, when I say a little bit, look how little that is. And I'm going to get a little bit of water. And I'm just going to kind of make this green that I had, the jewel green, just a little bit darker. That's not even a whole drop of black. That was like a tiny, tiny amount. And then we're just going to take and kind of put this up the center of each petal. Let's see. And I may actually use this to kind of trace that stem again also, so it kind of ties it all together.
Ava's asking, what about cow painting?
Cow painting. Are you talking about the cow hanging up behind me? That is Lola. She is the design that we're going to be painting in our upcoming spring workshop. It starts March 13th. And so if you've been watching me paint for a while, or maybe this is your first time and you're kind of like, oh, I wonder if I could paint like that. Doing one of these workshops with me is a great opportunity to kind of see if this is something you might be interested in trying. because you're not going to have to draw anything. You're not going to have to figure out the paint colors on your own. We're going to walk you through it step by step. We're going to give you a supply list so you'll know exactly which colors to buy. We're going to give you a template that you can trace. If you're doing the $10 version, which is the low cost DIY version, you're going to print this out on your home printer. Don't worry, this is multiple sheets of paper that have been taped together. That's why it's this big. And you're going to need like a piece of carbon paper or graphite paper to trace it on an 18-inch wood round. So you can either cut one yourself or pick one up at your local craft store. But if you're wanting to just get the kit from us, we'll send you a wood round. We'll send you a printed out template. We'll send you graphite paper, a sponge, all the brushes you're going to need, and a supply list already printed out so that you can just take that with you to the craft store and grab the paints that you need, because the paint's like the only thing that doesn't come in that box. You'll also need a black paint pen, so pick one of those up as well. Joanne says you get bit by the painting bug after one class, so it's so much fun. You'll learn a lot. I agree. This is definitely something that once you've tried it once, you're kind of like impressed yourself and you're like, oh, I can't believe I made that. And then you're like, what else could I paint? And so that's kind of why we do these workshops. And so if you enjoyed today's lesson, go and sign up for the Lola Cow Spring Workshop. We're going to teach you how to make the bow. We're going to teach you how to paint the background. Whoops. Blooper reel. We're going to teach you how to do these flowers and the fur. And look at all the tiny little details. The details are what make it, you guys. And if you follow along with this tutorial, we're doing this over 3 different days, starting on March 13th. We're going to walk you through it. Each night we'll do a different part of the project. You'll be able to post questions in the group if you're stuck on something. You'll be able to ask questions live if you show up live and paint with us. But don't worry, if you work or if you're, out of pocket that week, you'll be able to watch these videos for up to an entire year. So there's no rush. You don't have to paint it with us live the week of the 13th, but it is a lot more fun if you're able to participate live with us and kind of like post your pictures in the group and get feedback and kind of, I don't know. There's something about doing it live with a group because you get to see when somebody else changes and does different kind of colors of flowers, if they change the background, and it's inspiring because you're like, ooh, I really love purple. Maybe I should use purple instead of blue or something like that. And so come join us for $10. You can sign up and paint this with us, or for an additional $37, you can get the kit. So the kit is $37 and the workshop is $10. So if you choose the kit version, it would be $47 total. But you're going to end up with a beautiful door hanger. And again, like I said earlier, if you want to get more cows, we have an entire herd that you can grab after you sign up for the workshop. That will pop up on the next screen. And who knows, you might want to paint one of those on the back side of this one to make a reversible door hanger. Oh, and I forgot, I do have a picture here. This is what the kit looks like. So it comes with the template. It comes with the wood blank, sponges, transfer paper, chip brush, other brushes, and the printed supply list. That way you know what you need when you go to the store. Any other questions? Did I miss any questions about the workshop or anything else? I can't ever hang this back up here without almost falling out of my chair. Okay, I think I got them all. Where do we get the paint color list for Lola? So Becky, when you sign up, there's a private Facebook group that you need to go join. It should send you an email about that group. So go in the group and everything you need is right there. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful week. I will see you on Friday for Friday Fab 5. Bye, guys.